Hey guys, welcome back to another video of Knights and Cubes, a place where you can learn all sorts of useful tips and tricks for chess and Rubik's Cubes. And so my last two videos were about Rubik's Cubes, so today I'm going to be doing a video on chess. This video was made possible by really a book wrote by a grandmaster, an international master named Jeremy Silman. The book is called The Amateur's Mind, and that's where I'm going to be pulling a lot of the information that I have for you guys today into this video. So if you want to go get the book, it's probably at your local bookstore or library or Amazon or something like that. This video is not sponsored. Just stating facts. So what we're going to be learning today is where to play on the chessboard, and the chessboard is divided into three sections. The middle, I can't do arrows on here, so I'm gonna have to. Oh my gosh, the middle, which consists of the center, which consists of the E and D files, and the queen side, which consists of, and this kind of overlaps, but it consists of the D, the C, the B, and the A files, and the king side, which consists of the E, the F, the G, and the H files. And most people know that there's different places of the board, but they don't know where to play, so they will just play on and go after their opponent's king. And depending on the position of the pieces, that's not the right place to play. So I'm gonna set up a position. Wait. Set up a position. This is just a basic idea of it. Normally you would not want to block your bishop with this pawn, and you would not want to close the center up so early in the game, like right off the bat. But yeah, this is basically this is a basic position in the opening, I guess. But you might see a lot more pieces out than just these pawns. Anyway, what I'm getting at is that this is a closed position, and in a closed position, you're never going to want to play in the center. You're always going to want to play on the wings, aka the queen side and the king side. And yeah, so but where do you play? Like, besides the king and queen side, you don't play on both sides, if that's what you're thinking. But it all depends on where your pawns are pointing. So in this case, white's pawns are pointing to the queen side. His center pawns, see how they're see the line of red squares, and black's pawns, you guessed it, are pointing to the king side, shown by the line of red squares. And the reason why this works is because that's the side where you have the most space. So white has more space White has more space um, on the queen side because his pawns are making a lot of space. So um, we go. Hold on. I want to make a position. You see the evaluation bars going wacko right now. But it'll be okay. Evaluation bar. It's not the end of the world if this happens. And I'm almost done. Let's see. There. So why does it still show black has a 6.15 advantage? Anyway, ignore the evaluation bar. It's probably frozen. Anyway, so this is just a normal game, I guess. But most people would be like, "Oh, you can move your knight. You can move his knight to g5 and attack the king." But there's um, nothing really that that white can actually do. I'm just gonna make a random move, even you know, like that. Even if it's like that, and then queen moves here, that's still not an attack because the bishop and knight and the king are all protecting um, h pawn. So it really does absolutely nothing. Black king is perfectly protected, but um, white can make use of the space on his queen side and make a move like knight to e2. Um, Black is probably going to want to do something like that. Then white can start with a pawn storm, moving these two pawns up, making sure they're both protected. Like if black doesn't, actually, black doesn't even have any go like that. And even, and like, you wouldn't push the a pawn there because then black just gets a free pawn. But yeah, so where you have more space on the board. Oh my gosh, this is janky. Where you have more space on the board, that's where you want to play. And it's easy to tell if you have a closed position because then you just play on the king side. If your pawns are pointing to the king side, and if your pawns are pointing to the queen side like this, then you play on the queen side. And black hasn't even gotten his own attack started. He's forced to react, so he's probably going to want to, it's not even his move. White is probably going to want to do something like that. He's going to want to open that up. But since white has a pawn here, then he's not going to want to take, black take. And then white just owns the open file. Black can stay split off the file with, but it, then queen to b3 lets the h pawn advance. I still don't know why the evaluation bar says that white is losing. Anyway, we just reset the position. Or actually, let's make a new position. Where the position is not closed. Oh, wait. Yeah, that'll work. See, this evaluation bar is janky. White has all the pieces, but the evaluation says that white is bad. Anyway, we are going to add some pawns here. Everyone's going to have all their pawns. I do that, that, that. I'm going to do that, that. Gosh, and that. I'm going to do that. See, what is this evaluation bar? No, because I forgot to add white rook. You know what, forget the evaluation bar. I'll come back when, it's feeling better. Anyway, this is an open position, or this might be a semi. No, this is an open position. And you might be thinking, okay, so white can attack the queen side and black attacks the queen side. Well, that's not how it works, because the center has too much play in it. Because, after a few moves, say black starts attacking the queen side, and then white starts attacking the middle. Black has to take. He didn't really have to take that, but weakens his own. That's just gonna give up the D pawn. I mean the E pawn, and oh my gosh, and black can still keep going, but now this knight is a bit undefended. And notice how that wasn't a problem in the closed position, because nobody could get to this square. The queen couldn't get to this square to attack that, and now white can play something like this, chasing the knight away, now winning a pawn. And now, if we bring the evaluation bar back, you see that white is better. And, yeah, and like all of this has absolutely nothing to, like all the black's queenside play had nothing to do with, like it did absolutely nothing, because it was just a bunch of mistakes. So what he should have been doing was moving his pieces to the center and I guess white can do that, but then that gives up the open file, but then it challenges it, and then that, and the center's open. There's an open file in there. Knight has a pretty good spot right here where bishop takes, then pawn takes, kicks the knight, and then you can just defend your pawn like that, and then moving the g pawn to g3. Anyway, so basically what you have to remember is if the center is open, then you play in the center. If the center is closed, remember where your pawns point. So now, black, no, not that move. That's a bad. If black now plays this, no. Black plays this, then now the position is closed, and white attacks the king side, black attacks the queen side. And yeah, so basically what you have to remember is if your pawn, if it's a close position or a semi-close position, I'll show you what a semi-close position is in a sec. If it's a close position or semi-close position, then you play in the then you play where your pawns point, or like where you have the most space. And yeah, basically, like that. The white pawns are pointing the king side, black are pointing the queen side, and black should play on the queen side, white should play on the king side. I will show you. I think this is a semi-close position. A clear board again. I'm not going to add all the pieces this time, just because that takes a bit too long. I believe this is a semi-close position. Semi-close positions are a bit easier to break through because oh boy, that pawn, whatever. Because white can just play that. Hopefully he has a piece, I don't know, attacking this pawn from somewhere. And yeah, but basically that's a close position. And yeah, so you can also play on a wing of the board you can also attack your opponent's king if you have a favorable imbalance there. So even though it's the start of the game, I've actually had people play this opening on me where they play f6. That's a really bad move. You can, if they do something like that straight out from the opening, or if their king is just really weak or in the center, you can totally go after their king. Because after knight takes e5, pawn takes e5, and qh5, queen h5, g6 is just going to let the queen take this pawn with check, and then king moves, and then queen takes rook. So black doesn't want that. Queen takes pawn anyway. White develops with check. Pawn can't go here because it'll just be taken by the bishop again, and it's a free pawn for white. Black's only move is here, and then puts that. Black tries to develop, attacking the queen there. White ignores it. Check, move, check the pawn because of the bishop. It's attacking the king. Black's only move, I believe. Black and... What just happened? Black's only to move the pawn to g5 or the queen to g5. Obviously, you don't want to lose the queen, so you move the pawn. But then that's check. You know what? Why would you want to do that? As you can see, though, hold on. Computer's saying mate in 4. I'm gonna try and find it. Oh, okay. No. See, this is janky. White takes. What is wrong with this? Okay, white. Okay. No. Yeah, it's white's move. White takes on Hassan. This pawn is just gonna put it over there. Takes on Hassan. Mate in 2. King moves here. No, that's not mate. Whatever. Oh my god. And the rook moves, and it's mate in 1. Oh my gosh. That bishop down there doesn't mean anything. It's mate in 1. Like, it's checkmate right here. See, the king can't take, king can't move. Anyway, you know. The lesson here is if you have if your opponent's king is just out in the open and attackable, definitely go and attack it. Thank you guys all for watching another video of Knights and Cubes, a place where you can learn all sorts of cool tips and tricks for chess and Rubik's Cubes. This was a fun one. Like and subscribe, and see you all next time.